Hey traders, John Howell here today, or in today's coaching video. I want to walk you through the two sectors right now, or the two main markets I'm looking at right now that could be setting up for a really big move to come, but we probably need maybe over the next couple of weeks to a month, it could be setting up for a really big move. So I want to share with you exactly what I'm actually looking at myself, because I'm getting ready for probably being what I call my next home run trade. So that's what I'm looking at there when it comes to that there. Also, guys, I want to share with you a bit of a quote that I shared with some of my private clients. If you're going through a bit of a tough time right now, I want to share something with you. And then also, guys, I want to just share with you some really awesome, incredible setups that I like to look for when I'm trading the markets. And that's what I want to share with you today. So firstly, before I actually get into those two big sectors here, guys, this is bit of a PowerPoint that I run myself, or that I got myself. And one of the things, guys, is that if you may or may not know, but through May, January, February, March, and April were incredible months for me. And then last month, especially the last couple of weeks, I've fallen off the bandwagon. And it's not really the system, is it? You guys know that, right? Like, it's not really the system. My system works amazingly well when I followed 100% of the time, right? Or at least 90% of the time. So for me personally, it's all about taking lots and lots and lots of screenshots of what I call my ideal quality setup, right? Because you can see here, look at all these different screenshots here, right? All these, I've got heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of screenshots that I've put together myself of trades that I've done. Because for you guys, and this actually may help you out as well too, for me, I'm a visual person, so I need to be able to see in my mind, okay, what am I actually looking for in the actual setup itself, right? And you'll be able to see this here. And my ideal setup, and I get that first link in the description there, guys, you can click on that and you can join my next webinar and I'll teach you the actual system. But my really high quality systems are when we get this sort of action, when we get this sort of sideways period to a strong moving average coming down, and then we get a large bar breakout. Whenever we get that type of action, sideways, that sideways small bars to a strong moving average, that large bar there tends to be the start of that next move there, right? So that's a bit of a basics of what I'm actually looking for. And you'll be able to see, I'm not gonna go into it too much, but you'll be able to see like all the trades that I take here, right? All the trades that I've taken in the past have that one thing in common. What is it? It's a sideways small bars, it's a strong moving average, and then the large bar tells us we're now getting ready for at least a bit of a move in that direction, right? So that's the foundation of what I actually like to look for in my ideal setup. Now, why did I have such a tough time in May? Because my setups look nothing like that, right? It's so simple, right? When I look at it right now, I'm stepping back and having a look at it. Anyway, so I wanted to share this quote with you because if you're going through a bit of a tough time this year, then I want to share this with you, and because I do believe there is the future looks bright, as Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David says, and also I believe the best is yet to come when it comes from that. The best is yet to come. That's actually from Hillsong Church, which I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, if you never give up, good luck will find you. I actually heard this quote. I've been binge watching lately Manifest. You know Manifest, the actual show. And so I've been binge watching that lately. And last night I watched about 3 or 4 episodes. And when they said that, right, they said this: if you never give up, good luck will find you. And they said it a few times in this one episode. And I'm like, it stuck with me so much. I'm like, oh, wow. So anyway, so I wrote this here. When we grow and change, we get better results. But going through that change and growth is hard and painful. It's like breaking through a glass ceiling. It's going to hurt and you're going to get cut. You realize your habits need to change, the way you're thinking is wrong, and you need a big reality check. Because most people think it's going to be easy. When they feel this pain, they stop and retreat. But those who say, yep, change is hard, it's painful, and it's not meant to be easy, and this uncomfortable feeling is a normal part of me going to another level. So don't quit, don't stop, you are on your way, and when you don't quit, good luck will find you. You're building momentum and you're closer to your dreams than you think. Just like the water well, you pump water and nothing comes out for a while. But when you don't stop, after a while it flows in abundance. And this is actually one thing that's actually kept me in trading all this time. I've been trading the markets for 20 years. And some of you, when you join my webinar, that first thing in the description there, guys, you'll be able to see more about my background. But when I first started, I had no idea, right? And I was $250,000 in debt in the hole. And I had no idea, like, oh my goodness, like, maybe trading's not for me, right? And then I realized I was doing all these wrong mistakes, which is, you know, I wasn't focusing on one system. I wasn't becoming good at one system. And that's a really big thing that's really helped me understand, like for me to have success overall as a trader, has been going deep into a system and instead of just going wide, because it's never the system, right? As you saw as you've been seeing the last couple of days, if you've been watching me for the last couple of days, I've had an incredible year so far, but the last 2 weeks of May, as I'm doing this recording, guess what? It was hard for me. Why? Because I dropped my standards and I started taking all these other trades that weren't really high quality trades, right? So that's where I'm a big believer in looking at screenshots and stuff like that. But here's the thing: if you don't quit and you keep going, good luck will find you from there. So that's what I wanted to start off with that there, guys. Let's actually get into the two markets. So the two markets I'm seeing right now, guys, across the two different maybe markets itself is the XLB. This XLB is actually setting up quite nicely. And what I'm seeing here with the XLB, guys, is we're seeing how, if I bring up my weekly charts, I like to use on my weekly charts, I like to use a 24 moving average, right? And the 24 moving average I like to use on the weekly charts because 24 weeks is, what's that, roughly 6 months? 4, 8, 12, 16, yeah, what's that, 5, 6 months? Anyway, so I've just always used the 24 on my weekly charts. You could use a 20. It doesn't really matter, right? It's not really here or there. And one thing I've realized is, remember I said before, when it comes to my ideal setup, is that I'm always looking for the moving average to be strong, right? Remember I showed you before with some of these trades here, in the, well, I can show you any trade, right? Like this, here's one on, what's that, Bitcoin, here's one on gold, right? And so on and so forth. But the whole thing about this is that I like to use the moving average as a momentum indicator or like a trend indicator, right? And look at this here. We've been flat all through there. What does that mean? Really flat. That's called flat trend, right? And what does that mean? No one's in control. The buyers are not in control. We're not on an upward trend. The sellers are not in control. We're not on a downward trend. Now look what's happening now. Finally, after all this time, and how long is this time, you may ask? Let me bring this over here. You can see here, right? This is 1, 2, possibly even, so all through here we had no one in control, which was over 1 year, and now we're just starting to break out, right? So now we've got all these trend lines coming into play, and now you can see we've just broken out to above all-time new highs, and now we're just going sideways. So the reason why I see this as a potential really big move is because we're up here. If we can continue going sideways for a bit, right? So the ideal thing for me is to see this thing continue up like that. If we can go sideways for another couple of weeks, maybe even a month, and then start to see this thing break out like that, especially having this, this high up here like this, then what I do see this thing actually now breaking out above the highs, which I've always found really amazing and powerful, and I'm going to get to that in just a minute. I've always found amazing and powerful whenever we get a strong resistance and it breaks up and it comes down like this and then it continues up. I've always found that to be super, super, super powerful. If I show you and this is one of the things, this is the reason why I called such an incredible, what I call a home run trade on the gold market, right? Because if I look at the gold market and the thing is here, see that there? Now, what am I looking at? Remember I said before, like I always love that pattern when we have the resistance on the weekly chart and we break above it, we come back down to test it for a month or two, and then we get ready for another move. So you see this whole resistance level here, resistance level. So then guess what? It became, see how we actually broke up? So it broke above this resistance, came down, found support. So this is the reason why, if you've been following me now for this entire year at least, you would know that that's the reason why I was so confident with gold, right? So I was seeing, because it's one of the patterns I really love to see. And so this exact pattern here, resistance, now becomes support. Guess what? Now we're getting ready for an incredible move to the upside when it comes to that. So if I go to the what is it? Where is it? It's XLB, right? XLB, yeah. So if I go to the XLB and squeeze this up a little bit more, you can see what we're seeing here, right? We're getting pretty much very, very, very close to, I'd say that'll be the line there. You see we're getting all this level through here as being resistance. It now broke up. It's now become support. That means if we can get some sideways movement through here again, get this moving average coming up, then we could quite possibly be getting ready for a really big move. And here's the really big key. Because we've done nothing for a whole year, we're now just starting to trend, which is really, really powerful. So we're jumping in on a brand new trend. Now, there's no guarantees of this actually continuing up. That's why, like, when it comes to my entry signal, remember I said before, and again, guys, that first thing in the description, I teach you more about that. Remember I said before, when it comes to the actual trade, for me, I always like to see the breakout candle first, right? So if you see this one here, this is a setup. This is actually on a forex market, right? We had the sideways period through there. I always like to see the breakout candle, because the breakout candle tells us we're now likely to see a move to the upside. So as you can see on the back of what I just said there, that it doesn't mean we're going to go up now, right? And I had a question about Bitcoin. Say, John, you said Bitcoin's probably going to start to go to 100,000. Doesn't mean the next day, right? Like what I'm saying here, guess what? Like we could go sideways for another month, which will actually be really powerful if it did, and then start to get that breakup. If we did, this could be the next home run trade, guys. That could make a lot of money. So there's this one here, which is the XLB, and also XLE as well too, right? Why? Because it's basically doing the exact same pattern, aren't they? Look, see, resistance here, all this resistance all through here as well, as you can see. And now we're developing what? Now we're developing this pattern here, resistance, coming down, find support, and now we're coming up through here. So one thing I want to see here is, when I want to see this moving average continue up through here like this, right? And then, what was that? And then I'd like to see some sort of sideways movement, and then a continuation from there, moving from there. Makes sense, guys? So this is the big thing that I'm looking for myself when it comes to, again, my next really big trade is these two different types of markets. But of course, guys, I've got heaps of different stocks that I keep an eye on for, that I want to share with you. So on the back of what I just said there, guys, if I just show you this here, these are the type of trades that I really love trading. They just seem to work really, really, really well, right? Remember I said before, like if I bring this up here, there's two different types of what we call channel setups, right? So remember, like through today's video, I showed you how I look for the sideways period with a strong moving average, and then the large bar breakout says we're now likely to go, right? So it really is quite that simple there. Now there's a fine tuning. There's a lot of setups that do confirm like this. That one thing I've found myself, that if you don't know fully what you're looking for, and one thing I've found is that if this leg through here, that leg up is too big, meaning we do something like that instead of like that, then now we could start to look at possibly a false breakout type of move, right? But this is one thing, one of the patterns I absolutely love trading, which is a break above resistance, then we go sideways, and then we get a large bar. And if you have a look at this one here, this is exactly a couple of different screenshots. Let me open this up a bit more for you. So you can see, look at this here, the Dow Jones. This is pretty sure this is a weekly chart. Look at all that resistance, poked its head back above, didn't it? See through here? So hit resistance when it poked its head back above, came down, tested our support, and then we got what? The large bar, right? And this one here, this is the gold. This was actually when I was actually talking about gold, but the reason why I was looking at gold is why? All the resistance, then it became support, and then I was looking for a move to the upside. So these are the really big key points that I'm looking for. But it also works on the downside, right? One thing I really, really like is like the downside moves. So for example, when you get the downside, you get the channel, it comes down through here, right? So you get the channel, it breaks past the channel, then just goes sideways, and then gets the large bar. There's a massive probability we're going to continue seeing a move down. So if I show you this chart here, look at this chart here. This is actually an Aussie stock chart. And this was actually back in 2022, but like it's the same sort of thing, right? Is look at support, support, support. We actually break down past the support. We come back up, pull back, and then we actually continue down from there. Makes sense? So that's what I'm seeing through there. And you can see also like this is another example through here. I forget exactly what market this was, but it's the same type of thing, right? It's the sideways period to a strong moving average, and then the large bar. And again, this is a trading system, right, guys? Remember, trading's all about getting in, getting out, so on and so forth. It's not an investing type of thing, is it? Or it's not an investing is buy and hold. Trading's more that sometimes you're in and you get in there, and maybe you just get out there, mate. That's the trade done and dusted, right? That's how you actually trade the markets. I think too many people are always looking for that big home run, this guy. But we also realize that trading is all about maybe taking those small trades as well too. So anyway, traders, that's your coaching video for today. I'll speak to you real soon.